Hi everybody, welcome to this second edition of G4G News. In today's news, we are going to talk about what happened today with EA and DICE in relation to Star Wars Battlefront 2. You might be saying, hey Napalm, clue for you. That's not Star Wars Battlefront 2 on the screen. That's Overwatch by Blizzard. And I would say, why yes, astute student, you are correct. This is, in fact, Overwatch by Blizzard. And it has nothing to do with EA and DICE's Star Wars Battlefront 2, except for the fact that Overwatch kind of proves my point on how you're able to do loot boxes and not be gigantic douchebags about it. So, what's been going on lately with Star Wars Battlefront 2? Well, as I'm sure you are aware, because for crying out goddamn loud, the mainstream media is aware of it. Wall Street has predicted that EA's stock is not in a good place to buy right now because of the SWBF2 debacle. So, okay, here's the background on it. As the beta was around over the last few weeks and the early access and everything, people realized that with good matches, average matches, high-level characters, iconic series characters such as Luke Skywalker and Darth Vader could potentially take up to 40 hours or more to unlock. And people were like, this is ridiculous. 40 hours to unlock a character? And that is if you were going through the game's rewards and you were having fairly decent matches. However, you can pay to open Star Wars Battlefront 2 loot crates and get the star cards and get Luke and Darth that way, thereby making a AAA expensive-ass full-priced game pay to win with microtransactions. One of those things alone is ridiculously bad. Both of them combined are really fucking bad. I mean, 40 hours to unlock characters that are iconic to the series. So what happened at the time was EA was like, well, we want progression to feel meaningful. We want it to feel like you worked at something and it was a good thing. 40 hours to unlock. That is literally like it's a job. That is a standard work week for somebody. It would be sitting on your ass from 8 in the morning to 5 in the afternoon every single day just to unlock one of those two characters. Absolutely ridiculous. So, EA was like, okay, alright, we hear you. Yeah, okay, so 40 hours is a little bit much. We're going to reduce it by 70-75% or so. We'll make it about 10 to 15 hours to unlock. Parentheses, really quiet fine print. Oh, by the way, all the rewards that you used to get for matches, we're now limiting that. So what they're basically saying is that, hey, under the older reward system where you had bigger rewards, it would take 40 days to do it. Don't we seem great that we've now reduced it to 10 to 15? Well, no, in reality, you kind of didn't reduce it as much as you say because you cut the amount of credits you earn per match, thereby still making it long. So if you said to your boss and you were like, man, I'm getting paid $10 an hour, but this 40-hour work week is killing me. And he goes, okay, I hear you. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to knock you down to 20 hours a week. How's that? And you're like, all right, that's cool. But I'm knocking you down to $8 an hour for pay. And you're like, shit. Okay, well, damn, that's not helping. So, the original post that showed up on Reddit that discussed the times that it takes to go ahead and unlock Luke and Darth Vader has become the single most downvoted thread in Reddit history. All of Reddit. The encompassing world of Reddit that could be about anything. It could be about Hillary Clinton. It could be about Trump. It could be about NASA. It could be about a comet. It could be the Earth is spiraling into the sun. It could be about flat earthers, religion, Torborn mains. Everything of Reddit, EA grabs the gold fucking medal for the most downvoted thread in Reddit history. And EA's responses have been straight up awful in regards to this. Well, it got so bad that complaints were coming in globally. And over in Belgium, Belgium said, wait a minute, maybe this is gambling. Perhaps we need to take a look into this. This might actually be gambling over here. And if you think about it, there's two schools of thought for that. Okay, there is, yes, it is gambling. The moment that you do something like this and you hit shop and you pay money for one of these, or a package of these, that you are now committing gambling because you are spending money and then you are engaging in a game of chance. So this would be like going to a blackjack table, putting down $5, and one of these boxes so these 5 boxes represent the cards the dealer's going to deal to you. And you hope to God one of these boxes doesn't put you over 21 and bust. So yes, there is of course that mental attitude that this is gambling. On the flip side of it, you could say, well, no, it's not, because you can get loot boxes in the game for credit. Even when there's seasonal ones or event ones, a Halloween one, a Christmas one, if you play the game, you can get a box. Very true. So, but this right here is still plunking down money for random chance. The thing is, nobody kind of complains about Overwatch's loot boxes because you really, really don't have to spend a damn thing on the game. It's all cosmetic. Everything that you get in a loot box is simply just something for one of these people. You know, it's maybe the mud skin. It's maybe the Stitch skin. It is maybe Junkenstein's monster. Or the pig from the lunar event, which, by the way, is one of the creepiest skins out there for him. Or maybe it's the little piggy highlight intro. Or maybe it's even Feast when combined with the little piggy skin is a really, really, really creepy combination. So it's all cosmetic stuff. And you rightfully can earn it anyway just by simply playing the game, even during seasonal events and so on. Well, the other stance is that no, it's not gambling. Think about it this way. If you go to the store and you buy a box of Lucky Charms because there are toys in the cereal, and you go in there hoping to get a Looney Tunes Bugs Bunny figure in there, and you open it up and it's Daffy Duck instead, you're like, ah crap, I lost that one. I paid money for the cereal, I didn't get Bugs Bunny. Well, the counter thought is to that is that no, you didn't pay. You could rationalize it that you paid for the toy, but you paid to eat the cereal. Now, if you just bought the Lucky Charms box just to dig in there and get the figurine and throw it out, yeah, you kind of took a gamble. But in reality, those things never get classified as gambling because you're paying for the Cracker Jacks box. You're paying for the cereal. You're paying for the Happy Meal with the toy in it. That's what it is. You're not gambling because you're not paying really for the chance. you are paying for something else, and the chance just happens to come with it. Well, EA has gone ahead and said, okay, fine. We look awful, we get it, we hear you, which is honestly bullshit, because by we hear you, they mean the nearly most deafest hearing possible. I mean, their hearing is somebody who can maybe feel vibrations if somebody's pounding on the floor next to them, but they can't hear a fucking thing. That's what they're hearing in reality, if you think about it. Now, they claim to be saying, all right, look, crystals and microtransactions are disabled in the game. You can't pay to win right now. Just play the game and everybody will get their stuff naturally. But, we reserve the right to institute the crystal stuff again later on when we've got the game figured out a little bit better. Pessimists will say, yep, see, told you it might be disabled now, but it's going to be coming back. They're saying that they, right now, have the right to bring crystals back at some later point in time. Optimists are saying, well, maybe not. Maybe they're disabled now because of what's going on in Belgium. So they want to get rid of it really, really quickly so that they're not flying on Belgium's radar and potentially watching a snowball thing occur over in Europe where loot boxes get classified as being gambling. And I mean, so many games are going to be affected by that. Battleborn basically has loot boxes in the forms of packs. Lawbreakers has loot boxes. Overwatch has loot boxes. Star Wars Battlefront 2 has loot boxes. I mean, it is the microtransaction du jour. My real issue with it is the fact that when you are paying top dollar for a fucking full-on video game, okay? Not a free-to-play situation, but when you are paying $40, $50, $60 for a full-on game with a multiplayer experience, a single-player experience, collector's edition bordering between $100 and $200, okay? You should not have to deal with microtransactions. I think that is utter trash. Especially microtransactions on the most serious order of Star Wars Battlefront 2. Where you can pay to shortcut so much of the stuff. Now you might be saying, well, Napalm, I'm hearing what you're saying, but I'm watching your Overwatch stuff. Does that game not fit the bill of what you're saying? A full-on AAA game that has microtransactions? And I would say to you, no, because this stuff is cosmetic. Anything you pay for in this game does not get you ahead in any way, shape, or form. Having a skin of Farah's that looks like an icicle doesn't really help you in any way, shape, or form. It's not like I paid to unlock that ultimate or paid to unlock Farah because the game installs with only 5 heroes and she's not one of them. These are just skins and emotes and sprays and fucking voice lines, okay? So, Star Wars Battlefront, that's not the case. And a lot of the other games, I mean, Lawbreakers, you can't pay for any unlocks early there or anything. It is all cosmetic. It's varying prices of, you know, epic skins and weapons and decals and stuff like that. So that one's fine. But the star card system of Star Wars Battlefront 2 is utterly ridiculous when paying such a hefty price for the game. And I mean, clearly, gamers are not the only ones who think this. If the Wall Street Journal is giving it credit by saying, yeah, you don't want to buy stock in EA right now until this is resolved. So obviously this is a super serious issue to have something like that. Go back 10 years in my history, I used to say I would never pay for DLC. And the reason why is I was a gamer that grew up in gaming in a different era. And that era was the Unreal Tournament era, the Quake era, stuff like that. Where you bought the game, or really, when it comes to the Unreal Tournament games, you wear as the game. And you got the whole rest of the game for free. And even if you paid for the game, you know, you paid your $40, the community around these games supplied so much stuff. You had UT skins, UT maps, UT mutators, UT full-on game modes, like that one that was kind of like Counter-Strike, TAC Ops or Tactical Assault or something. And the longevity of these games, thanks to the community, you got your money's worth all the time in that. And I mean, there were rental servers you can get, and I was involved with UT at the highest level possible. I ran Windows servers for it, I ran Unix servers for it, I adminned ladders over at Proving Grounds, I adminned whole games at IGL, and Team Warfare, and was divisional leads. I mean, I was involved in the Unreal scene at its highest levels, other than like the fatality level of getting paid for it and winning tournaments and stuff. So I know what I'm talking about when I go back, and you just paid for UT, and that was it. And if they had a big update that some games might call a DLC, like UT 2K4 did, it was called a patch. That's what it was. You got new vehicles, you got new maps and everything. It was called a patch, like 3359 or something like that was a big one. Nowadays, you pay for every little thing once you get a game. So, okay, I'm fine with DLCs now. I believe in it. I've bought DLCs for the Borderlands series, and I mean, some of them have been my most favorite moments in gaming, like Assault on Tiny Tina's Keep. Fucking amazing. The DLCs in Borderlands 1, I mean, like General Knox, amazing. Borderlands, the pre-sequel, I don't know about that. But, I mean, I'm fine with DLCs now, but microtransactions, after they said, like, you can have everything in the game, and, you know, I think they were saying that you won't have to pay for DLC, and they had already had good models in Titanfall, the way to handle stuff over there. I mean, here's the thing. You want it, it has a real-life value. Boom. No fucking around, no buying a crystal which gets it, or let me buy this loot box, maybe I'll get it. Like, you had these one-to-one things within EA's own environments, and they still screwed it up when it came to Battlefront, Star Wars Battlefront 2. And, you know, I gotta tell you, I go back to 2011, I picked up Battlefront 3. Because I needed a game that I had never played before. I needed something really off the wall to focus on because my grandfather had died. And it was the first big loss of my life. It was the closest family member. It was the first family member that was that close. Not like a distant uncle or something like that. And he was such a major part of my life. And I owed so much of my life to him, dating back from college and high school and everything like that. I was like, I need something that I really can pour myself into that's really different, really distracting. If that happened today, if that happened in this age, and I said it's going to be Star Wars Battlefront 2 that I want to pick, yeah, that's not going to happen. I would not buy Star Wars Battlefront 2 in that current situation. I would find something else that was ridiculously off the wall. Hopefully, they never bring the microtransactions back. Hopefully, they realize, you know what? if this many people are canceling their pre-orders, which, by the way, canceling the pre-orders had a sort of issue going on. I watched this one already. It had a sort of issue going on where people were thinking that they couldn't get the returns, but it's because they had already been charged for it, so they had to go through a different route. The automatic button wasn't available like other pre-order games before your card actually gets charged. Yeah, so it sounded like a scandal, but it kind of wasn't. It's what it had always been, but everybody was so ready to jump on EA. It went crazy, but you have to be careful. You can't be so wrapped up in finding something to be the enemy or hating something that you just make everything bad and everything is ridiculous about it. Otherwise, you get basically American politics right now at that point. So, yeah, you have to be super careful for that. That wasn't quite the controversy that people thought. But barring that, you can't have a super major game and then have these shitty microtransactions that amount to pay to win, not pay to look good. I mean, any of these transactions really need to be like America's new top stormtrooper. Or what not to wear, Darth Vader or something like that. It can't be pay to get further ahead. I mean, free-to-play games, they rely on the whales, knowing that there's the freebies out there. But that's free-to-play games. You want to install South Park Destroyer, and the moment you install it, spend $90 for 90 Cartman cards or something. Hey, that's fine, because it was free. But when you pay a premium price for a premium game, and then have to do microtransactions, especially to shortcut game progression, or even progress at all, no. We need to take a stand, and our voices need to be out there, and thank God they were heard. Who knows what'll be happening with Belgium, and whether or not this will be found in gambling, and if it does go that way in Belgium, what will happen is a domino effect in Europe, and then potentially a domino effect in the States. As it is right now, Europe is having some domino issues with illegal add-ons in Cody, and they're now spilling into the States. So, yeah, our voices need to be heard, because when our voices are heard and our actions are completed, these gaming companies get hit in the wallet. And if we retract so much from buying their game, that they're then going to lose way more money under that system than if they put it out and said, oh, well, you know, we'll just have limited people playing it, the people who actually want to do the microtransactions. If enough people pull out of the game and cancel pre-orders that they're now taking a monetary hit, that's what needs to be done, because hopefully it will teach them a lesson that these things are not okay. I mean, they weren't that okay when Battleborn did it. Battleborn, yes, it did go free to play, but we had the transactions before then. And it's a shame, because honestly, it is probably a really good game. It looks beautiful from everything that I know about it. It's probably a lot of fun. It probably fulfills people's fantasies of Star Wars characters and everything like that. It's kind of like Lawbreakers. Lawbreakers is reviewed so well, and everybody likes the gameplay of it. But people kind of have issues with the price on it and think it should be free to play. People have issues with Cliffy B kind of being a jackass when he's out in the media and everything like that. So Lawbreakers has its own issue, but you know, if Star Wars, if people are going to say the gameplay is actually good, when I get in this TIE fighter, it's fun. When I do this map, it's fun. When I play Boba Fett in a match, he's fun. It's pretty. It's awesome. It's sexy. I've watched Twitch streamers play it. They all love it. And they're like, oh my god, there's a Ray. I gotta do this. And was watching a game mode of like hunt the random person where somebody is a target. And they all have to hunt that person. And it's two sides, whatever that mode was. It looked great. But who wants to support a game like that? So that's today's episode of G4G News. The fact that EA and DICE supposedly have listened to the community and said, alright, fine. Microtransactions are gone. Now, their little caveat, I mean, I get it. It leaves the door open. It's like a cliffhanger at the end of a horror movie. Did Michael Myers die when he fell out of the balcony? But, well, nope. There's an impression on the ground. He probably walked away. If they want to leave that cliffhanger, fine. It kind of protects them in the future. If they do decide to bring it back and people are like, hey, you said you weren't going to do that. You guys suck. I mean, how are you going to get a refund now at that point in time? You can't. They're like, haha, we took your money back when you paid for it because you believed there wasn't going to be microtransactions. They're back. Well, the other thing is it still kind of shoots them in the foot because the pessimists will look at that and say, guys, calm down. Don't get an erection over this. The microtransactions are going to come back. They said they're probably going to do it when they figure out what the fuck they want to do with the game. Well, those people are probably still not going to buy the game. At least not now, and at least not during the opening week. And that's launch week is what makes or breaks so many games and movies and everything. I don't know how EA could have proceeded on this one. If they didn't mention it, well, then they're not protecting themselves in the future, and people are going to be like, but you said microtransactions were gone, and they have to be like, well, we meant they were gone then. It's been 3 months, we figured out a better system, so they're back, and you're like, well, fuck you. But if they put it out there to protect their future endeavors in it, all the pessimists and all the haters are going to be like, see, they didn't really stop. They just said they need to go back to the drawing board to figure out their greed a little bit better. Or maybe until the Belgium thing passes over. So who knows what they'll do. So that's this week's episode. Or not this week's episode. But that's this episode of G4G News. What do you think? What do you think about Overwatch? Am I maybe not comparing apples to oranges there? I'm comparing apples to apples. Do you hate Overwatch's system? What do you feel about the news for Battlefront? Do you think it's a major victory for the average Joe when we've successfully sent a clarion call to developers? Or do you think they're just going to put it underground for now and bring it back later and we'll be right back where we started from? Let me know. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button. See you, people.